For today's video, we're going to be making this quick and elegant Father's Day card. So for today's project, I'm going to be using some of the new in color Misty Moonlight cardstock. And this card is going to be a little bit different than normal cards. This card's actually going to be a 5 by 7 inch card. So this used almost a full sheet of paper, and I cut it at 7 inches wide and cut an inch off the bottom to make it 10 inches long, folded it in half to come up with a 5 by 7 inch card. Now 5 by 7 inch cards, it is easy to find envelopes for them to mail them, so don't be worried about that. In addition, I'm using some of the designer series paper from the World of Good Sweet. And this is, if you've watched some of my other videos, you know that this is one of my favorite pieces of the paper in the set. And I think I've used up pretty much all of it. I also used a piece of 2 1/8 inch by 5 1/2 inch cinnamon cider cardstock. I ran that cardstock through the new Old World paper embossing folder, and just look at the texture. I don't know if you can see that. The texture of this embossing folder is incredible. I did spritz my paper lightly before embossing it, and that way, because these are such deep embossings, I wanted to make sure that it didn't crack the paper. So I gave it a light spritz on each side and ran it through the folder to give this beautiful texture. Now, if you've been watching along in this card series, you know that I've been making heavy use of the Memories and More cards. And here are 2 of the 3 by 4 inch cards that I picked out to decide what I wanted to use on my Father's Day card. I did decide that I'm going to use this one. I love the very faint image of the globe, and I'm going to be using a stamp out of the Best Year stamp set, and that has this lovely saying, "To the world you are a dad, to me you are the world." And I think that's perfect for the front of this card, and if you look at that, it fits perfectly. So I'm going to stamp this real quick using some of the new Misty Moonlight ink and set that aside to dry while we assemble the rest of the card. This is a new ink pad, and it is a little stiff yet trying to get it open. And because this is the first time that I am using this stamp, I am going to stamp it off real quick on a piece of scrap cardstock. This is actually the cardboard that dies come in, and I like to put my dies on magnetic sheets, and so I always have some of those sitting around loose. Now I thought that this, to me, you are, or to the world, I thought that was perfect with the picture of the globe. So I'm going to stamp this offset so that you can still see the globe behind it. And I'm going to let it sit for a second so it absorbs all of that ink. There we go. Set that aside to dry. Now we can get started on assembling the rest of the card. This paper is cut to 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. That gives me a nice 1/8 of an inch outline all around. And because this is a map, you want to make sure that you have the print facing right side up before you adhere it down, so it's not upside down on your card. Now I'm going to put a lot of adhesive on the back of this. Because this has all that texture, I want to make sure that there's enough surface contact with the paper to hold it down. You could, if you wanted, use some glue, but I do find that the tape is sticky enough that it does adhere nicely. And I'm just going to line this at the top. Now, I am actually going to raise this up on some dimensionals. Give this a little bit of a 3D look on top of the 3D. And this is going to be going into a package, so I don't have to worry about it being too thick to go through the mail. So one of the awesome things about being a Paper Pumpkin subscriber is no matter what, you always seem to have some dimensionals left over. Now I do want to make sure that when I put these on, I'm going to put some tape on this side and it'll adhere to the raised parts. So I only need to put dimensionals halfway down here because the rest of it will be raised up by our embossed paper. I'm very excited to see the box of sunshine that will be coming with the June Paper Pumpkin kit. If you haven't already subscribed, there's more information on our website about how to sign up for Paper Pumpkin and a monthly preview of what might be coming in the next month's package. The great thing about the Paper Pumpkin kits is that there's always extra supplies left over. And that's really nice because then you have generally the labels that the sentiments are stamped on. There's always extras of those, and you always have quick and easy elements that are already cut and die cut and everything to be able to put onto a card. So I'm going to line this up down here. Tear this down. And this card needs a little something something. So in the Memories and More card set, there are some little dots, and I'm going to go grab those and we will add a little bling to our card. Okay, so our Memories and More card set actually came with a whole bunch of different design elements that you could add to the front of a card. And similar to the Paper Pumpkin kits, they are already cut for you and often have a lot of metallic embellishments. So I think for our card today, I am going to use this little chevron. And I'm going to add that little blue up here to the top in the middle. It's a sticker, so it sticks down real nice. And I think we're going to add 3 of these little compasses right up here as if they were bling. There we have today's Father's Day card. Now, I am going to decorate the inside of the card. However, I am going to print something out that is a special sentiment for my father, and I'm not going to do that on camera. But you would want to use a 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 inch of white Whisper White cardstock on the inside in order to create the inside of the card. So I hope you enjoyed this Father's Day card. And if you enjoyed our video, I'd sure appreciate it if you can give me a thumbs up. YouTube really does a lot of the search rankings based on people that get likes on their videos, as well as if you can click on the subscribe button, you'll be notified every time that we post new videos. If you click on the bell, you'll know as soon as a new video posts. All the supplies for today's card can be found on our website, and the link will be down in the show notes below, as well as a product list of all of the products that I used today. In the grand scheme of things, this card actually came together pretty quickly with a minimal number of products used. So it's simple, and hopefully my father likes it. Hope you have a fabulous day. Stay crafty, friends. Bye-bye.